Hello, today I'm testing out brewing as a money-making method. It takes several days for things to brew, but it only takes a few minutes to set things up and collect the drinks in the end. To make ales and ciders, you need at least 14 cooking, or whatever level for the specific drink you want to make. For each type of ale, you'll need 2 buckets of water, 2 barley malt, ale yeast, and some other specific ingredient depending on the type of ale. Cider is made with 4 buckets of apple mush and 1 ale yeast. There are 2 places to brew in game, so I have the ingredients to make 2 batches. One of them I will use the stuff from the Trouble Brewing minigame. This increases the chance to mature the ale to 64%. Otherwise, it's just a 5% chance to mature ale. Mature ale is typically a lot more expensive than normal ale because the mature versions increase your stats more than the normal versions. With mature ale, it's almost always profitable, but less bought, so it might be harder to sell. Prices fluctuate a lot, but right now some ales you'll actually lose money in making. I did the math and here's the profit of each type of ale. But right now, Axeman's Folly looks like the most profitable without relying on the chance of mature ale, so that's what I'll be doing. This method requires 49 cooking. Ale yeast is pretty pricey if I buy it off the GE, but getting it yourself is really cheap. All you need is an empty pot and 25 coins or 5 ecto tokens if buying from the person in Port Phasmatis. You can also buy yeast from Blandabeer and Keldegrim on the upper floor of the Laughing Miner pub. This is one of the locations where you can brew. The other is the basement of the Green Ghost pub. Neither of these require quests, but it's recommended to have completed Ghost Ahoy for the Green Ghost pub. To start the ale, you first add 2 buckets of water to the fermenting vat, then use 2 barley malt. Optionally, the stuff. And your specific ale ingredient. For Axeman's Folly, it's oak roots. Then buy ale yeast if you haven't already, and use that on the vat. I'm doing the same thing in the other fermenting vat, but this time without the stuff. So the first one will probably mature and the second one probably won't. Ale can take anywhere from 1 to 5 days to finish. Adding the stuff usually makes it brew longer. There is a 5% chance of your ale going bad, but leaving the ale in longer doesn't affect anything. You can start it and leave it in there for years, and it'll be the same as how it ended up when it was done brewing. Now I just have to wait. To get the ale, you need either empty beer glasses or Calquat kegs. Kegs of ale are rarely traded, so I wouldn't rely on that to make money, but it is an option. The easiest way to get cheap empty beer glasses is at the Toad and Chicken in Birthrup. Here is a beer glass spawn and an Asgardian ale spawn. And lots of ale you can buy for 2 GP each and just drink them to get the beer glasses. Then there's a bank downstairs. I guess if you wanted to make money buying and selling beer glasses, this is a great way to do it. And finally, when your ale is done, you need either 8 beer glasses or 2 kegs. Turn the valve to empty the vat into the barrel and collect your ale. My first ale matured, so I should make a lot more money off of these. But we'll see if they actually sell for 44k on the GE. The second batch is normal, so less GP but still profit. The normal ale sold immediately for 18k total. I'm gonna leave the mature ale in for a bit. Another money-making method I wanted to quickly show is making apple mush. For this you need 4 apples and 1 bucket for each apple mush. And to make cider you need 4 total buckets of apple mush. You can buy apples and buckets for really cheap at shops around the game, and make apple mush at one of the 3 apple presses in the game. What an interesting animation. I don't think that's very clean. These sold immediately as well for a total of exactly 6k, and I only spent 18 GP and it took a few minutes. If you're interested, I could try out a whole video on this and see how many apple mush I can make in an hour. The mature ale still hasn't sold, so I'm selling it for a lower price. And that got me a total of 176k. I spent 1029 GP on each batch of ale because I bought some things off the GE and got some things myself. So for the mature ale I profited 175k, and for the normal batch I profited 17k. I didn't time it, but I imagine doing all of this took less than 10 minutes. You just have to wait a while for your brew to finish, but it's a very nice passive moneymaker. You get some cooking XP from brewing, but only a small amount. I hope you enjoyed the video or found this useful. I wish you all luck on your brewing adventures, and I hope all your ale matures. Goodbye, friends.